looking for you. I brushed it off, pushed it aside, but I couldn't help. I was looking for you, yeah, I was looking for you. I have my hands surrounded, I have the silence in the room, just a figure in the dark. As if God before the storm. If I fall, you catch me, push me back up on my feet. It's been a struggle.
Good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to SQ1 Champions League Week 4 Day 2 matches. I'm Kachka and I'm today joined by Kerem. Hi man, how are you doing today?
Howdy, I'm doing really well today. It's been a bit of a long day for me. However, I'm just happy to unwind a tad and just watch some nice, peak quality League of Legends tonight.
Yeah, we do have some very exciting matches today. Both of the stream runs will be pretty much teams sitting towards the top end of the table, and the first match will be Krugs versus Glorious Gaming. And both of these teams, they are sitting at 5 and 4 points. I mean 4 and 5 points respectively.
Yeah, and the disparity between points in the league, at least right now, isn't actually that huge. So, as you guys saw a while ago on the screen, I believe that Glorious Gaming are currently sitting in the 4th place, and it is Krugs in the 6th. At least that's what I have heard. So it's still going to be the match for the continuation to the tops of the standing, of course. Whoever is going to get these early games onto their score ahead early is going to have that much of an easier time heading into the playoffs. So,
It's a long time still. It is still a long time, yeah.
But you can always bring that narrative up.
Yeah, week 4. What can we talk about? Playoff. Yes.
Yeah, that's exactly. I mean, you have to always mention it's like the sort of scarecrow in everyone's back pocket, really. Because if you cannot make the playoffs, you're likely not a good team. But I do believe that Krugs and Glorious Gaming are one of those teams that have the potential to try to move and just even win playoffs. I think because right now the situation in the league is that there are no real favorites per se, and if there are any, there is at least 4 to 5 of them. There are so many teams that are so even right now, and today we're going to be seeing 4 of these teams playing, so it's going to give us a clearer picture of what we're going to be witnessing.
It definitely is, as we are going into the draft right now. Glorious Gaming, they are on the blue side, and Krugs, they are on the red side. And what do you think we can be expecting to see removed in this draft phase?
So generally, whenever I cast these leagues where the players know each other, I always expect comfort bans. However, something that has popped up both in this league and internationally is that Caitlyn and Morgana. It is going to be a highly contested combination. So either banning that out or just picking it for yourself as the first pick. You mentioned that it is actually Glorious Gaming sitting on that blue side, so they are going to have the opportunity to lock themselves that. So I'm maybe expecting Krugs to just take that away. Right now, the bans are just being focused around the top lane, and it's the comfort picks that I mentioned earlier.
It pretty much is. So for Krugs, so far has only played Sion in this league, and Lizard, I believe he had a pretty good Vladimir game. So both of these bans do make a lot of sense. Just removing them, taken off the table, and so far everything is playing out as we expect.
And this is actually really symmetrical, I'm going to say. First the top lane bans, then the AD carry bans, taking away Ezreal and Lucian, one of the strongest early game AD carries, at least right now. Of course, Ezreal is still really good in late game, but, just taking that safe form of an AD carry away from the pockets of Krugs. I had questions coming into this game if we're going to see some early priority on the bot lane for both teams, and it seems that for now we're not going to really get something like that. Of course, that Caitlyn is still open, so I'm really looking forward to someone picking that scaling pickup.
Yeah, unless it will be banned, we'll have to see what Krugs decide to go in with the last ban. Lulu was removed. It has been coming slowly into the meta to the deep sadness of my heart. However, Ergot will be the last champion removed by Krugs. It's not going to be there. It is still a strong top laner, so just removing that completely from the table.
And Perrin actually brought that up last week on the mid lane, so it's still a really good flex pick. It's a strong one, so makes sense that Krugs take that away. Ivern being hovered. You're sort of toying with my heartstrings right now. Okay, well, it's a boring one.
Well, it is in the end. It is a Braum. It makes sense though to lock it in. It is a very safe support that allows you to just play around your AD carry, whatever pretty much they go for. You want some early game AD carry? I think Braum can provide that, and also the late game peel is there. Getting it as the first pick, it's just pretty solid from GG.
Oh yeah, and Flickr isn't actually one of those supports that is going to go like all out with something like a Thresh or like a Pike. He's always going to focus mostly around protective supports, something like that Lulu that he has played, something like that Braum. Makes sense, it is something that he is really comfortable on, and right now they can just pair it up with an AD carry or leave that to the second ban phase. Now, I really would appreciate if Free Krugs lock themselves in a mid laner at this point or as their third pick, because Slednex has had a really good couple of games. He's the predominant carry for Free Krugs, and so they're either going to give him the benefit of an early pick so that they cannot possibly ban him out, or they're just going to leave him to a counter pick.
Right, the game last week against Lao Gan Ma from Free Krugs led next on that Ahri, he was just popping off. However, mid lane is not the focus in those first two picks at the very least, as we are seeing Jarvan and Morgana coming through for the side of Free Krug.
And King Disrespect, of course, hasn't played last week together with Free Krugs. And so, once again, if we're going to see Jarvan the Fourth in the jungle, we're already going to be able to compare both of these players, Toby and King Disrespect. Toby was really influential for Free Krugs because he managed to set up a lot of ganks as well as invades in the opposing jungle. So, if we're going to see King Disrespect on that Jarvan pick, we can just compare, you know, how influential he can be.
Definitely, as if you take a look at the side of GG, they have locked in themselves that Kayle in the lane you talked about, the one that is able to put down the early pressure as well as transition nicely into the later stages of the game, as well as getting themselves the SQ1 into the jungle. Just a solid tank pick overall.
And something that happened there was that Free Krugs managed to lock in a Morgana, and I do believe that Glorious Gaming sort of picked that Caitlyn up reactively rather than that they thought, well, you know, we really want this AD carry. I believe that it was more of a, well, we really don't want to give them this combination because it's one of the strongest bot lanes, at least in the current meta, so they just took it away. Still, it's going to be relatively strong with Braum. Not the best of combos, it's still good, okay? With the Winter's Bite, with the stacks, she can get her traps off really easily. However, it's a bit more difficult than, say, just hitting a binding from 5 kilometers down the lane and then just, you know, putting that trap down.
A lot of mid lane focus bans in the second phase, stuff like Ahri and LeBlanc have been removed, as well as Cassiopeia and Victor, so we will not be really seeing those picked. Slednex's Ahri taken out. We'll see what Free Krugs go for. Cho'Gath is being hovered. They could just pick themselves a very solid front line in the top lane, which would enable that Kai'Sa pick later on into the game.
And so they are right now giving the benefit of the counter pick to Slednex. Unless we are going to be seeing AP Cho'Gath, it is something that has been played mostly in solo queue. I do believe that I recall of one of the recent games. I'm not sure where it was, but I do remember seeing an AP Cho'Gath. But it's likely going to just leave that last pick over to Slednex, and this is just telling us that he has a pretty deep champion pool. We saw him pop off on that Ahri. LeBlanc has also been banned away from him, but there are more assassin picks left open, something that this Jace could possibly try to counter. It can be also flexed to the top lane, so we're just going to have to see where it goes with this last ban. Oh, last pick, not ban. Yes.
Yeah, Jace taken up in the top lane for that carry, as you have mentioned. I'm just looking to see what Perrin, I would assume, runs in that middle lane. Of course, Jace could also be placed in the middle lane. Oh, Silas! It is going to be locked in. Do you think it's going to be top lane or mid lane? Because we actually have seen both in the competitive play.
It will depend on this last pick of Free Krugs. If they decide to pick something really aggressive post level 6, or even before that, I do believe that Silas is going to be going into the top lane. If it's going to be something that just wants to farm, something like a mage, it is still going to be going into that mid lane, but it is Echo, ladies and gentlemen. And so, I do believe that it could be going into the top lane. Of course, still up to the players on Glorious Gaming to decide about that. And for now, looks like Free Krugs are keeping Cho'Gath in the jungler position. Of course, they do have time, yes. Okay.
Yeah, they do have the time to swap, and as the compositions are rounding out, let's take a look at what do they want. Starting with the Free Krugs, they have got that Cho'Gath for the front line, Kai'Sa for the more late game scaling, and Echo, he is going to be a very scary assassin. So how do they exactly want to approach this game, and who in particular are we looking at?
So one of the most important factors for free Krugs at this point is going to be King Disrespect. Toby last week had a really amazing game. I mentioned that a bit earlier, but he played mostly around that mid lane. That is still going to be the case for now. Of course, Silas does have that mobility, but once he expands that initial dash, he cannot really get away. He is also running that ignite, so he is risking getting knocked up with the flag and drag, forced into a cataclysm, and then just getting bursted down immediately with that echo. So I do believe that King Disrespect is going to pay a lot of respect, contrary to his name, into that mid lane. From the other side, you have Samus sitting on SQ1, who isn't going to be able to do much before level 6. He's just going to want to farm up a tad. However, after that, he has options in every single lane. He's going to have a lot of burst with Silas, a lot of burst with Jace, a lot of lockdown, as well as damage with Caitlyn and Braum. And so, after around 8 or 10 minutes, you're going to see Samus just looking like a little child in Disneyland, right? He's just going to be like, hey, I can go anywhere, mom, and he's just going to go into every single lane and try to carry.
Yeah, is this how it actually works with that lane? I mean, Samus on the Sejuani, you do have a lot of potential setup, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that works. One interaction though is, you talked about Perrin being potentially ganked. Post level 6, when you've got that hijack on the Silas, you can just steal the Chrono Shift and be like, nah, I'm out.
That's true. However, remember, the Chrono Shift sort of course, it makes a clone which follows you around. So if that Chrono Shift is going to be reactive rather than proactive, it's still going to mean that he's going to be on that same position. Of course, he's still going to deal a lot of damage with it. That's just the fact. However, he's still not going to be able to use it to escape. He can use that to escape if he sees that Disrespect is coming around, or if he's just around that middle lane. So a lot of our focus should be also spent on that vision control, because once again, if you see that the jungler is coming near you, you can try to prepare, which is something that Silas needs to do. He isn't that great at withstanding pressure. He is good at setting up those plays. And if he is going to overextend, something that Perrin has rarely done, it is going to be really terrifying for him to try to survive that lane.
It will be. And now I want to just switch our focus to yet another lane, because I'm looking at those AD carries, Kai'Sa and Caitlyn. Both of them have got the potential to be the primary or secondary carry of the team that they want, and Pongra often in the free Krugs games has been that secondary carry alongside Slednex. And I just want to see how will these players go through that early game and maybe try to find some leads, try to get some sort of advantage to scale into this mid game and actually become useful and just dish out the damage that you need.
Actually try to be useful. I
Yes.
like that phrase. So they can try to find some leads. Morgana does have the potential to find some dark bindings. If you're going to see King Disrespect in that bot lane, there is also even more potential for them to try to do so. However, it's likely just going to be a farm lane. Pongra, he's on Kai'Sa. It isn't the most proactive AD carry. He is going to have the disadvantage of ranged auto attacks. He does have less of a range than Caitlyn, so he is going to get poked down a lot in the laning phase. He's going to let the wave be sort of pushed under his own turret, which is going to open up for the bot lane of Glorious Gaming to set up that vision control, which, returning to my point, they need to know where King Disrespect is. And if they don't manage to get that early bot lane priority, it's going to be really difficult for them.
Oh, okay. This time you're getting cut off, see?
Oh, wow. That's unfortunate.
Wow.
The puzzles have turned, aren't they?
They did have. However, I do agree with the point that you said about the vision control, because that is something that always is... It is crucial, and I think that is no secret to anyone. If you want to get some early advantages and get Snowball rolling and actually have your jungler in the better position to gank, then vision is the... Yeah. Because both Sejuani and Jarvan, they do wanna make those ganks earlier or later.
Yeah, so Jarvan, he can make those ganks appear really early on, especially after, even with that level 2, he can already try to go for a quick gank with that EQ, because it's, one of the most important combos in his arsenal. So he is a really big threat already from level 2. We can maybe expect the cheese if we're going to see your support Bra picking up the Dark Binding early on. He can just move into that bot lane. Will depend on how the teams decide to play out this first minute. Of course, we're just in a pause right now.
We are. I'm still loading, so I'm happy we are in a pause.
Okay.
Just gives us some, just gives us some more one-on-one time with 56 people
We're
walk.
not in pause anymore.
Okay.
It's not a one-on-one anymore. Catch.
Oh well, then hopefully no early shenanigans, or at least not before I come into this game. But yeah.
You know, something I
would-
just noticed is that we actually have 2 ducks as casters in this league. We have Duckling, and then we have you. That's,
Yeah, for those that don't know, kaczka is the Polish word for a duck. I feel like
yes,
I needed to bring that out.
a
there.
little duck.
No, it's just a duck.
I mean, okay, so it's
Oh,
a bit...
your support, bro. He's looking for that binding. He does connect onto Whisper. That's a lot of damage coming through. And the first blood goes to King Disrespect.
That is really unfortunate, if I have to say. Whisper just got caught out. Nothing that he could do. Dark Binding, with like a homing missile, just connected. A really nice invade. They played around that vision well. Popped on the vision ward at the very last second. And so Whisper couldn't react, and he just died. What a sad tale for someone so young and so respectful.
It is mostly as well because that Jarvan just gets another longsword, and well, it isn't a lot. It is 10 AD. However, it does allow you for some more damage when you go into that lane and maybe just get some clutch ganks. Slendex is looking for that ward now. He is the one getting turned on, has to burn the flash fast forward from Perrin. He gets a nice aftershock burst, and Slendex takes a very bad trade at level 1, to be honest.
And he is already going to be forced to use up those corrupting pod charges. Really important for Sylas, as he is now going to be able to utilize the superior range on his Q to try to poke Slednex down. Of course, he has actually started with that E, so, you know.
Yeah, the abscond abduct, as I think is it called,
Wow,
as King
that's-
Respect.
that's-
King Respect is going in the middle lane with that flag and drag already. The early ganks around that lane, as we talked about it, Perrin will be able to just get down under his own turret, and nice gank to just relieve some of the pressure off from Slednex.
Yeah, Sam is also now fighting with King Disrespect, though.
Yeah, a lot of damage coming from that SQ1. Slednex and Perrin are both coming up. That is the dashboard. Ignite is sticking down. King Respect might just die. Here, Perrin gets the kills. Slednex is next. Permafrost connect. And a double kill for Perrin just 2.5 minutes into the game.
Es una fiesta, amigos. Ladies and gentlemen, we're already getting off to a really strong start. Of course, we saw Free Krugs getting a really nice invade. 1 kill at the very beginning of the game, but at this point, they're already 500 gold behind once again, because Perun got that kill as well as a second one to his pocket. This Sylas is going to be popping off, and that's a really scary prospect.
It is, I cannot disagree. Also, the power of the aftershock, the double aftershock
yeah.
with the damage and all the resistances, it just added up to so much. That is already a Hextech revolver in that lane, just gives him so much trading potential.
Ooh, that is going to be really terrifying to be laning against. Hextech Revolver gives you so much in that laning phase, and if you're going to be playing Echo, someone who just wants to clear the wave out and then go roaming, however, that is something that is unavailable for you in the first couple of levels, as your Q doesn't deal enough damage. You're now always going to have to approach the lane, something that Perun is just going to be able to bully you out of. And he also has a red buff. That is pretty much the worst start that you
That
got.
is a binding connect onto Whisper. Has to flash away. Ponga flashing for the heal, however, is utilized as well in the middle lane. Perrin and Slendex are trading once again. Parallel convergence comes out for some shields. Slendex will be looking to get over the wall. He does have the face dive and dashes towards the minion. However, the stuns are still coming through, and Perrin is on a killing spree.
And such a nice kill from Perun there. Once again, he's just able to utilize the fact that he is now going to be guaranteed to snowball. He catches Slednex out, Samus is in that topside river, and there is nothing that Slednex can do to run away. He doesn't have his flash up, he doesn't even have cleanse, he has just that poor ignite, and just one more kill heading into the pockets of Perun, who is now 20 CS ahead at 4 damn minutes.
Samus has been paying so much attention towards that mid lane, and it is paying dividends for Glorious Gaming right now. They are 1.5k gold ahead. And we didn't even get to talk about the top lane, where Jason to Cho'Gath, that is an expected result, but Lizard is doing a great job of denying CS, getting pretty much the same CS numbers as we see in the mid lane.
Well, it's a lizard against the lizard, so you would expect that he knows how to play against it. No, but playing Cho'Gath into Jace is just a really difficult matchup to try to, you know, even survive in. Of course, there is King Disrespect there, so he can try to alleviate some of the pressure off of Sope's back, but still, 20 CS deficit both in mid lane and top lane, especially in lanes where you have champions that can snowball really well. It's a really, really bad start over 4 free Krugs.
It does not look great for them. They had a nice game last week against Lao Gan Ma. That was the point where, well, I thought, well, is this the new contender for the top? GG, they are sitting 1 point ahead of them, 5-1 at this current point, and, well, they are showing we are also here to contest, as they are honestly just showing so much dominance in this early game. Where do free Krugs go from here? How do they come back?
They just sort of have to get a few more CS on Slednex, honestly. If they pay more attention towards him with that King Disrespect, they can still try to get into a comfortable enough of a position. However, Samus has just been paying so much attention around this mid lane. The bottom side river Scuttle Crab has spawned now, and Samus is there, but there is a potential for a kill here.
Yeah, the free Krugs bot lane has got the priority. They will be on that Scuttle Crab first. However, Parent comes here, he hijacks the Soul Shackles, uses it now. If he can get a massive stand, that could be potentially big. Pongra gets stand up, will be taken down. A rampage for this Silas, his 4th kill of the game at just 6 minutes on the clock. And that also should be the Infernal Drake going in towards Glorious Gaming.
And Perun has played that really well. He just could pluck out one of the ultimates from anyone on that team. He does have level 6, whereas everyone on free Krugs right now has either a level 4 or 5, and well, that was a really, really easy 4th kill heading into Perun's pockets. Of course, that was full gold, because it was for Kaisa, who hadn't died until then either, so, well, he's going to be a really happy convict. I never thought that I would say those words together.
Yeah, until you saw Silas grace the rift and then someone like Perun just be like, what up, I'm gonna get a lead with the help of my jungler, and there is nothing you can do about it.
That is a
exactly
real conversation.
It is a real conversation, what do you mean? However, coming back in the game, King Respect has to burn his flash in the jungle. It should hurt him quite a bit. Yeah, Perun flashes forward. This guy has so much burst with that revolver. It just hurts to see as Slednex and Perun, they continue the trading, but I'm not sure if the Echo has enough damage. Parallel convergence is coming out. Perun will just dash out to relative safety. That is the knockup connecting onto Slednex. He's taking a lot of damage. Samus dashes forward. Ignite is taking down Flash away. King Disrespect has to go out with the flag and drag. And the pressure in the melee mounting slowly against the free Krugs. It's just overwhelming them bit by bit.
It definitely is overwhelming them. The only saving grace in that fight for free Krugs was that Perun had his ultimate on a cooldown. If he managed to snag away a Cataclysm, it would have been one more kill, again heading into his hands, and that would have been even a scarier thing. Now, the best lane for free Krugs, which I'm a bit surprised by, is actually the bot lane. As I say that, Pongra just gets chunked to half HP, but, you know, both of the AD carries are still sitting on even CS. I'm really surprised by that, given that I was thinking that Caitlyn and Braum would have more of a more pressure in that lane. Of course, they are going to be hitting their level 6s now, so it's a subject to change.
It is, and Samus is in that bot lane. He's looking to gang yet another lane and swing it into into GG's favor. However, Pongra will just recall to his base. Your support guard really needs to be careful. He does spot something. He throws out a binding and he will realize that Samus is sitting there.
Yeah, well, at least they realize that, you know. Because, once again, right now, the entire team of GG, they just sort of have to farm up. They just have to get bulkier. They have to play on the fact that they have this stronger late game composition. Silas?
As King Disrespect, he was trying to gang Lizard. However, you have got that knockaway on the Jarvan, and I think now, yeah, Perun is looking for that. Now there's so much damage from the Jace! Lizard will just get a solo kill to King Disrespect in that top lane.
And that is the serrated Dirk on a Jace. There is not much more that I can really add to that. Just a really nice kill heading into now in the pockets of Lizard. And things are just spinning out of control for free Krugs at this point.
Perun is coming up to that top side. He's got the Cataclysm. They will be diving. Poor Soap. There is the Glacial Prison and the jump in forward. Perun is unstoppable. He picks his 5th kill. Soap will get one back, however Slednex joins in. Can he get the kill onto Perun? That is a big shutdown if he manages to get to 700 gold. The Ignite is taking down. Perun is running low. He steps into the brush. He gets a lot of shield. Blizzard gets Slednex. Perun is still alive. And Blizzard gets the double kill. Perun just does not die.
And that is just unfortunate. Like, how does that even happen? Perun was chased for so long. The Ignite didn't manage to kill him just because he does get that shield off of that E, and that is, that's a really unfortunate situation. 5-0 Silas, 3-0 Jace. This game is just bound to end before 20 minutes.
I think it is, however, we see a fight in the bot lane. Your supporter has to go golden. Pongras trying to dish out the damage, however, a teleport is coming to the Whisper already, picks up the first kill. However, Pongras just his forward with that killer instinct. Can he get the kill? He flashes in the final attack, however, Lizard snipes him with that accelerated short blast and saves his AD carry. Nothing just seems to go right for Krugs right now.
Saving him or stealing the kill, I suppose it doesn't quite matter. Getting a kill both on your Caitlyn and Jace would be the best thing that you can get right now. Look where Perun is. He's just taunting Slednex at this point. But yes, now the only lane that has been sort of going well for Krugs is going, well, not so well. Not so well, yes. And so GG, they're just able to develop so much dominance all over the map. It's almost scary.
It's only 11 minutes into the game. The next dragon spawning will be the ocean. At least it's not a second Infernal, I guess. However, you are 5,000 gold ahead.
Oh, support, bro.
Oh, support.
I'm sorry. That was I was confused how much damage Jace has.
Yeah, he does. He does have a lot. There's some trading in the middle lanes. Lennox has to pop down the parallel convergence chrono break used from Perun. He does not quite manage to connect with the damage, and so Lennox just gets out for a while, or does he dashes forward? Perun is just taunting him at this point, I think.
He is. He doesn't let him go back because Slednex knows that he has available those chains like you. So Burbra may be going mid to try to help his poor Echo out, but well, he has been spotted by the control ward, and Perun will just be able to sit back, not die, as there is the Ocean Drake traded for a Rift Herald. Once again, not the best of situations, as both top lane and bot lane are now sitting in the top lane. There is no need for the Rift Herald even right now. It can just take the turret.
Yeah, they will be able to. That is the last blading. And yeah, it is a really unfortunate situation for Krugs, but you know, let's look at the silver lining. You are probably going to get poked to death under your turret by that Jace and the Caitlyn, and then Perun just threatening to dive, but at least you can regen faster, I guess.
Oh yeah, they can regen. That they can, but can they regen from death, Kachka? I don't think so.
It's called a death timer. Yeah,
okay, that's like 20 seconds though. It's not that long. You know, you just give up pretty much all map pressure. That's okay. That's okay. But to think that all of this started off of just one good early play from GG is just so mind-boggling to me, because remember, Krugs, they managed to get a good invaden. They killed Whisper, they got an early kill, and then it just snowballed against them just because GG have been able to find a kill after kill on Sledman.
And now they will be looking for their second tower of the game. Your support that connects with a binding onto Lizard. I'm not sure how much that will do as the turret falls. Thanks to that Shelly charge, Perun is looking for some engage. He's got that capitalism, so there is the potential for some combos. However, they will just take the turret and be content with the ultimate pressure that they get.
Oh yeah, they're just getting everything that they want, at least right now on the map. Both tier 1 turrets have fallen in both mid lane and top lane, as well as bot lane now. Whisper is able to pick up that solo gold for himself, so he's going to be one happy cowboy, sheriff, thing, woman. Now in the mid lane though.
Yeah, Perun, he just refuses to die. I don't know where Silas has so much survivability from. He isn't really even building that tanky, but he just barely takes in any damage. I honestly wish good luck to Krugs to try to stop that. We are not even 15 minutes into the game, and you are looking at a goalie that you would usually see 30 minutes in.
Oh yeah, it's going to be really difficult for Krugs to do anything at this point. However, they still have the saving grace in the fact that they have a strong frontline in Soap, as well as King Disrespect. They do have a strong backliner in Kaisa, And Echo, he scales well into the late game, so we can still expect free Krugs to pop off if they just concede some of the map pressure objectives and, you know, instead of going for these fights where they just give kill after kill after kill over to GG, because that isn't going to help them at all. They just need to scale, they just need to farm, and maybe in around 30 minutes they can try to do something.
Yeah, you just the Baron isn't on the map, so there is no real pressure apart from losing your towers. So you have some of that freedom to just farm up the lanes. And something that I just want to talk or just briefly touched on is the actual jungle mid lane synergy from Glorious Gaming. It has been so good this game, and I think we can all agree it is pretty much what put them in this position right now.
Oh yeah, it's one of the most important things for them, at least right now. What is also important is that Faroon is now in the top lane. I'm gonna give you some space, of course. Faroon misses for a bit.
Yes, Slednex trying to go in. Perun just heals casually for 400 HP, and Slednex, I'm not sure if he's too happy with how that trade ended up, but he cannot do too much as Whisper. He's just pushing in on that middle tower. Not a lot that Free Krugs can do right now. They will be looking for some potential engages, so pops the Righteous Glory. He tries to connect with the Rapture, does find it onto Samus. Nice Glacial Fissure from Flicker to secure the disengage, and that should be it, as Perun is dominating in the top lane.
Yeah, Slednex, I really do not know why he keeps on going for these fights. He should just be conceding that top lane. He should not be trying to 1v1 Scythe in the mid lane, though.
Yeah, King Disrespect jumps forward with that Cataclysm. Whisper is safely tucked away in the back lane, though. King Disrespect getting so much damage from Samus, who goes on a killing spree. Pongra cannot even get the return kill. Whisper will get the better of him in that fight, as your support, Brad, trying to run away right now. He's gonna get those concussive blow stacks, get slowed down by it, but has to flash away. But there's the Piltover Peacemaker catching him through, and that is just 3-for-1 in favor of GG.
And a bit of an unfortunate flash from Soap there as well. Of course, that fight once again did not go in the favor of Free Krugs. Pongra always overextends in these fights and tries to go for Whisper. Sure, that's a good tactic. Whisper does have a lot of damage, so eliminating him from the teamfight would be beneficial, but you have Perun there. You cannot ignore him. He is 6-0. He does have that proto belt. He is building towards the Zonius right now, which I feel like is a bit of a questionable itemization choice right now, but still, he is just so dominant alone that you cannot leave your backline, something that Pongra has been doing in every single fight thus far.
Yeah, even in the AD carry you have got those differences. Infinity Edge is already completed on Whisper for at least a few good minutes, and Ponga is still working towards that. He should have enough gold in a matter of a minute or so he will be matching slowly those items, but Whisper is already working towards his first Zeal item.
Yay.
So you have got those discrepancies literally everywhere, and Free Krugs, well, they need a hell of a lot of time and at least one miracle to come back into this game.
So maybe two miracles. The first one happened right now. Pongra has been able to finish that Infinity Edge at 18 minutes in. You know, that's great,
yeah.
Really. No, but at least as soon as Kai'Sa can hit those power spikes, we have been seeing a different build now be picked on Kai'Sa, which isn't actually going Rage Blade, and it is instead itemizing towards those crit items, which I really like, you know, with these new crit items, of course. So we're going to see her pop off later than we would be expecting at just two items before. So once again, just delaying the spikes of everyone on Free Krugs, really, because Slednex, he does not have enough damage. He does have that Proto Bell, he does have that Aether Wisp, but it's really not going to be really beneficial to him, let's be frank.
Yeah, it's not your support, but it's just going to get tagged by the Winter's Wrath. As well, Free Krugs, they're trying to establish some sort of vision. They are doing a fairly good job of keeping wards in their own jungle, but I would assume that GG, they just come in and clear them all out in a matter of minutes, or even seconds, as Perun is already doing that.
Yeah, I think we heard you, you know? You're like, well, Catch Guy's talking about it, might as well do so. Now, of course, no vision left for Free Krugs. One Lonely Vision ward from your support brat. The second one. That's kind.
As Slednex, he does manage to just slither away under his tower. I was afraid that he might get caught out, as it wouldn't be too great. Perun steals the Soul Shackles, so look for the team fight impact for this man, because if he gets a multi-man stun, well, I dare say that would be a GG for GG. But yeah, Free Krugs, they need to hold on. It was bad.
That was good. That was good. I respect that. No, but GG right now, once again, they just sort of have to stall out. Despite this 10k gold lead, if they manage to prolong this game for long enough, they can maybe try to do something. However, at this point, or sorry, yes, 3 Krugs have to stall. At this point, GG have been playing so well around this macro. They're just moving to mid lane. They have Blizzard in that bot lane. He just pushed Soap out completely. And there are 4 members in the top lane while Perun solo pushes that wave, unafraid of anything. And so right now, 3 Krugs are just losing objectives all over the map.
That's just what you can do. When you have this pressure in multiple lanes, you can't afford to be losing numbers and still be winning in the wave push. As now King Disrespect, he has joined the top lane. I thought there could be some potential engage coming through, but 3 Krugs, they decided to listen to your advice and just not go for them. Try to wait and stall out for as long as possible.
And that is the correct decision right now. As long as GG don't have the Baron buff.
As your support bar is getting engaged upon, that Black Shield isn't gonna save you. Whispers on the rampage and Pogba is next. The Glacial Prison connects. Samus gets the kill as Lennox is coming through onto Flicker. Ignite is taking him down. King Disrespect will get the final kill in the end, but that is a 2-for-1 still in favor of Glow's Gaming.
And once again, like, you always see Sludnex jumping in, trying to find a kill, and that is, you know, a good instinct on that Echo. You need to be snowballing, but at this point, no, you should not be doing that. Just, you know, please don't. He has used up the flash. Of course, he managed to pick up his, oh wait, did he not? Wait, who did that kill go to? Braum died, right?
Yes,
yeah,
I think, oh, that was King Disrespect. That was King Disrespect.
Okay, well, that's really unfortunate right now. No, but we see Sludnex going for these fights. My eyes were on him to try to win this game, but for him the lane was over before it really began, just with those few early kills that Perun managed to get into his backpack. And right now they can just set up that vision. Of course, they did go for a reset. They're heading to that Baron buff right now. Lizard is in that bot lane with a teleport, so he can come in and he can do whatever he pleases. Of course, I don't believe that anyone has a real vision on Baron right now with those 2 control wards, so GG, they can just set up whatever they wish. The inhibitor in the mid lane has been taken, so 3 Krugs are going to have a bit of a delayed response if GG decides to just go for this big purple worm. Well, we're just gonna have to see. Maybe a death brush, you know? Give us some entertainment, GG.
They will be looking to catch someone out of vision. That is the easiest way to go to Baron, as Pongra, he might just be overextended in that top lane. He does use the Killer Instinct, has the flash available to his name, will decide to commit it in the end. I felt like he had to. That is the Summoner down on the AD carry of 3 Krugs.
Once again, well, while Pongra isn't the most important damage dealer for 3 Krugs right now, or rather, not the most important, not the scariest, still, taking that flash away, he also doesn't have the ultimate right now. Of course, it's on a pretty short cooldown, but taking away a cooldown on AD carry, that's cool. Taking it also on his support, yeah, that might be a bit better than just 1 guy. I think that 2 is bigger than 1.
I think so as well.
I remember. Yeah, you're the math guy. You should tell.
Yes, 2 is indeed bigger than 1, and GG, they are looking for their tier 2 in that top lane. Will be their 7th tower of the game, which is bigger than 0. Fun fact.
Wow.
As Lizard, he's looking for that bot lane inhibitor tower, and at this point, 3 Krugs, they really need to find some miracle fight, or GG, they will just starve them out of this game completely.
Yeah, they are just getting choked out right now. Look where Lizard is. He's just killing his fellow Lizard. Soap is just falling.
Yes, Soap has to flash away from Lizard. Cataclysm does not quite lock him down. Lizard is unstoppable. He might just trade his life for it though. A shutdown will be found by Sludnex, as the turret is now the focus in that top lane. Perun jumps forward over the wall. Glacial Fissure slows Pongra, but that's about it. Perun is still on that side. Watch out, he's got that killer instinct. He can be positioning himself fairly well, as the binding does not connect. King Disrespect, he needs to be careful. Perun is dashing forward. Your support taking so much damage with the in the hole. The fight is now in full swing. Samus flashes forward, and Whisper is unstoppable. He gets a kill through attack, makes it a double. And now Disrespect and Sludnex, they are the only 2 members alive, as GG, they will be looking to storm the base and finish the game.
And there are just so many long death timers now. Perun is just going to be able to turn it around.
Celetics dropping Solo in an instant. Solo tanking whatever he can, trying to hold on to his dear life in this game. Will be able to just delay it in a second. However, the first Nexus turret falls. The second one is now under scrutiny. Lennox looking for some stance. He does find out to Perun, has the chrono shift immediately away to safety. Pongra 5 seconds to respawn. Freakrugs, they are trying to fight back. However, GG, they are not doing anything. That is a shutdown onto Whisper. It will be traded back to Lennox, looking for some sort of engage. Lizard is still dishing out the damage. A double kill will be found. Pongra is jumped on with the Cataclysm and deleted by Perun. Support that doing something, but it is not enough. A triple kill found for Lizard. A double kill for Perun. And that will be GG taking the game over Krugs.
And that was a very, very dominant showing there from GG. From minute one, they were just in control, in an absolute control of the game. Really well played by them. Perun almost single-handedly won the game. Of course, Whisper still had a lot of damage of his own with those 6 kills. Or, wait, how many was it? Yeah, 6. That was nice. That was nice, but it was really impossible for Krugs to try to do anything, and I feel like at this point they don't really have to be too sad, too upset. They just have to say, well, we sort of inted in the first minute, you know, that happens sometimes, these games do happen, and let's just go into the other games with a better mindset.
Yeah, I think that is what Krugs need to focus on right now. Glorious Gaming, they will be sitting on 6 points, which I believe is tied with CBA currently on that top spot. The differences with the points are very small, so they will be very happy with such a dominant win. Also sending the message to the rest of the league, because, well, if Krugs defeated LGM and then GG defeated Krugs,
yeah,
then, you know, it doesn't work like that. Spoiler alert.
Doesn't, but you know, you can sort of make the point. Kind of, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
Not really, no. But still, a very nice victory for GG. I'm really looking forward to seeing them in the future. Of course, the game is still pretty young, so we can expect some developments happening all over the place. Maybe we could be sort of attributing this loss to the fact that Krugs had a different jungler, so there could have been some miscommunications. We saw that King Disrespect, he was sort of giving a few kills to Perun as well. Remember that like it was 2 or 3 minutes in after that initial death of Slendix, he just came into mid lane. He got caught out by that Sejuani, gave one more kill over into the hands of Perun, and there was nothing that they could do after that. So once again, a really nice victory, and I do believe that GG are going to be really happy with themselves tonight.
They will definitely be. However, we also have another match coming after the break, which we will be back for. I believe it is Lao Gan Ma against Royal Reapers. So I guess we will see you then. Hello and welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the nice cool music, but I think it's time to get hyped for some matches, guys. No more elevator music. We've got Royal Reapers versus Lao Gan Ma.
You're killing the mood, Kachka.
I am. But we've got some hype matches. No.
You have to be a bit calm
No.
in the beginning. No, you
No.
have to get the
No.
mood. No, you have to. Okay, well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed the intermission music because, that's a new thing. That's the best thing that we've ever added to this SQ1 League. Of course, after this upcoming matchup, we're going to be seeing Royal Reapers playing against Lao Gan Ma. Royal Reapers are actually coming off of a 2-0 win streak last week, and I'm really hoping that they're going to be able to show us today that they are one of the most dominant teams in this league.
Definitely, especially that if you consider the first matches that the teams have just played, they are both coming off a win directly, so they will have a lot of momentum carrying onward towards this game, and well, may the best one win. We are obviously in the draft, as you can see, and Lissandra was the first one, and Lao Gan Ma are looking to follow it up with a waiting for it with a nothing.
Yeah, so something that we have to say is that Lao Gan Ma, because they didn't send in their 7-man roster last Sunday early enough, they do manage to lose their 2 first bans. It was also in the first game, which they did manage to win, and Royal Reapers managed to win thanks to the FF of their opponents. So, we're going to be seeing LGM just sort of waiting for a full minute in these picks and bans.
Yes, that's what you do. If you don't submit your roster on time, then you have to wait for a minute. Submit your rosters on time.
Yes.
Guys, as taking actually a look at the ban phase, Kha'Zix is also taken away from It Is Over, also known as Ventum, one of the champions that he does like to play, so no surprise in seeing that taken away. And Silas, no more after last game.
Yeah, that last game was such a fiesta just off of the back of that Silas pick. It makes sense that that it is now taken away. Currently one of the strongest picks in the meta, as we have all seen here today. Kaz is also paying some respect over to Ventum. He does like playing those early game jungle carries, I'm going to say. So let's just see what the Morgana ban is. Lovely. It's a Morgana ban. Not too surprising, once again, just mentioning that Caitlyn Morgana combination. The entire lineup of Royal Reapers right now do have the ability to first pick, so the possibility of a Caitlyn is there. They will prioritize Poppy instead, which is really interesting because it is a bit of a flex pick, but you don't necessarily see this too often. It would mean that they just want to set themselves up for a relatively safe lane in the top, or if they know that Ventum likes playing these dashing junglers, to sort of try to counteract him in the jungle.
Well, SpamFF played in week 3, I believe, with Royal Reapers, and that was one of the 2 champions he played. However, Vladimir is locked in for Lao Gan Ma, as well as the Zillion.
Oh no. So, I feel like we have to bring this up. Last game,
I think we do.
Yeah, which wasn't actually streamed, it happened today. Sojin was actually playing a support role on the Zillion, and Artemis was playing Nasus in the top lane. So, maybe they thought, hey, it worked out. We managed to win. I don't know how, but they did. So maybe they're just going to show us that once again. As Royal Reapers, they're setting themselves up a surprisingly safe composition. Jesus Christ.
Surprisingly, yeah. By surprisingly, we mean a very safe one. And
Yes.
honestly, when you look at that, I am going to really have to see in that mid lane if you have got some early damage, because if you don't pay attention to that Ezreal, this will be a hard comp to pull off if you are Royal Reapers right now, at least.
Well, right now you will have that Sejuani in that jungle. I assume, of course, we have seen her be played in the support and toppler as well. So technically a flex pick, but I do believe that it is going to be sitting on retro right now. You can set up those early game picks. Now, one of the most prioritized things for blue side, which is Royal Reapers right now, is going to be that support. Unless you're going to see Poppy be flexed into that position. Of course, you don't pick Poppy first pick as a support, so it's sort of off limits there, unless the bot lane of LGM are going to be able to pick themselves up something that is easily countered by Poppy. Of course, Tristana, something that Poppy counters very well in the bot lane, isn't picked, so I do believe that it's just going to be really standard, as we're seeing here right now in this order.
Yeah, probably no swaps. If you take a look at the second phase bans, Corki is taken away. Omena has played it before in SQ1 Champions League, and Kindred is another takeaway. They are really trying to hit those aggressive junglers.
They are just taking away anything from the hands of Ventum. They definitely want Sejuani to be in a comfortable spot so that she can just sort of farm up, reach that Glacial Prison, and then try to focus on these lanes. Something that I'm also looking at is a potential Trundle ban, because it is a pure counter to Sejuani. It is open. So Lao Gan Ma, they can decide to pick it up if they want. Possibly as a first pick. Yes, there it is. And now, eyes on Royal Reapers. Are they going to prioritize the support or mid lane? Because it honestly doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah,
They just get more time to discuss. So I think they're gonna go with whatever they want to pick first. Right now, they have that safe core of the composition. I said we want to see some more damage on it, and Malphite. Well, that is an interesting pick. Actually, a Zyra.
Yeah, so never mind. It is going to be still Zyra in the support. I was thinking that it was actually going to be Poppy for a second as the Malphite was being hovered, but in the end, it is a Zyra. And Jesus Christ, I think I'm gonna have a heart attack just from watching this team comp. There is so much poke and engage on this lineup of Royal Reapers. You have Xerath, you have Zyra, you have Ezreal, as well as the combined lockdown of Zyra, Sejuani, and Poppy, that if this team gets snowballing, it's going to be so difficult for Lao Gan Ma to even try to do anything, to even put a dent in this game.
And it will go for the Kassadin. So we've got now both of the compositions put together. You already rightfully mentioned that Royal Reapers, they have a lot of poke, they have also some solid engage. And looking over at Lao Gan Ma, they have They have quite a lot of later game element. I'm just gonna say late game. They have Sivir, they've got Castawin
Yeah.
and Vladimir. That is a lot of damage that you can pack in those team fights once you manage to breach that 30-minute mark.
Yeah, it isn't precisely a an early game composition. Now 2 seconds, and these picks are actually being swapped around. Is it actually locked in? Or wait, no, never mind. So they have a few more seconds to swap around. If it's going to be Artemis sitting on a Vladimir, it's likely going to be Sojin once again playing in the bot lane together with Rosted, also known as Mechanics, with that Zillion. Once again, mentioning it, he played it last time. And Sojin would be in the top lane. Of course, Vladimir into Poppy isn't the worst of matchups.
I mean, it does allow you to just farm fairly freely. You can get a lot of those CSs without being too concerned about being ganked. And well, Artemis, I feel like most people who are watching this know that this guy, he's primarily a top lane main, and then he was playing support. So that is where the swap is coming from. However, you know, what I'm looking at is that SQ1 last stream game, the one that hopefully you were watching between Glorious Gaming and Free Krugs, someone says SQ1 did a lot of impact. I want to see Retro have the same sort of impact in this game.
So, in the last game, yes, Sejuani had impact, but I feel like it was overshadowed by Perun, I have to say. Of course, Sejuani is still one of the strongest junglers in the meta. She benefited heavily from those 9.3 changes. I'm not sure if they were originally supposed to be buffs. A bit, they were supposed to change her from a more late game oriented jungler to a more early one, and so that is what she is right now. She pops up really heavily in the mid game where she's almost unkillable. So expect just, post level 6 ganks. She will have a lot of setup in every single lane. So once again, that Disneyland Child memoir that I brought up in the first game is going to be available for Retro. It's going to be more difficult for Ventum to try to find a lane where he's going to be comfortable with finding a single pick, because Kassadin, he ain't got no damage early on. Zillion, you could argue, but he's going to be playing into a Poppy, which is going to be a pretty difficult matchup to try to kill her. Oh wait, no, he's going to be.
Yeah, he's going to be going to support.
See,
it's
this
alright.
is messing me up. This is messing me up. You can't do this to me, Lao Gan Ma. You're confusing the caster.
Swapping lanes is officially out. No,
officially,
no.
Yes, no,
yes.
No, but the point still stands. He's not going to have too much setup in the top lane, neither with Vladimir into a Poppy, as well as in the bot lane. So Trundle, he is just going to be looking to have those lanes pushing. Poppy is going to get pushed under her own turret a bit by that Vladimir. He can look to push in that top side of the map, try to maybe set up a vertical jungling. However, it wouldn't really benefit him too much, as Sejuani can then just say, all right, sure, I'm not gonna, go into my own top side, but I'm just gonna go to bot lane instead, which is once again another spot that Retro can pick up to try to snowball this game. And once again, the prospect of a snowball for Royal Reapers. They sort of have to pick it up. They have to pick up a few early kills in the early game, because if they don't, the entire lineup of Lao Gan Ma are just going to outscale them. You have that Sivir, you have the Kassadin, you have Vladimir, so much damage in the late game, but they need to survive the first 20 minutes.
And Yoshi is cool in that bot side on the AD carry. He was the person in the past games for Royal Reapers that has been one of the main contributors, one of the main carries, you could say, to the success of that team. And you have the Ezreal combined with the Zyra, and you can focus your resources around him and put him in a position, whereas he hits his 2-item power spike, something like ridiculously early, like 13 minutes.
Oh yeah.
That is the way with which Royal Reapers will really want to play this game. And also...
Sorry?
And also
okay.
another point, I get always cut off when I go into the loading screen. Well, anyways, another thing that you need to really look at is that post level 6, the lanes from Lao Gan Ma will have reasonable escape to avoid these ganks.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially in the mid lane, Kassadin will actually be able to output some amount of damage onto this Xerath. Xerath doesn't have any great self-peel tools. Sure, he does have a stun, but imagine Kassadin just jumping on top of you inside of the minion wave. You cannot really do anything against that, and at that point, it is a possibility that DS, I'm going to call him Nintendo, by the way, we had this conversation before.
Why
this
not
game.
de-smurfing?
Because it's
just
Nintendo
fill in
DS.
the vowels. Just fill in the vowels.
No, it's a Nintendo DS. Okay. regardless, Kassadin is going to be able to jump on Omena, and at that point, it is going to open up the route for Ventum to try to pick and try to snowball that lane. If you manage to get a few kills early on Kassadin, I think that everyone knows how dangerous that is. Because, well, Kassadin, he just jumps on you and you die. And the entire lineup of Royal Reapers can be relatively squishy if Kassadin can get a good flank on in the late game. So once again, it's going to be all on the back of Retro and the bot lane of Royal Reapers to try to find some good advantages in the early game.
And you know, you just mentioned that late game and the fact that there are 3 squish members. Royal Reapers have got those 2 tanks, and this is where Ventum's pick, I like it. The Subjugate from Trundle removes so many resistances from either that Poppy or the SQ1, which just allows your Savior Roasted or the Smurfing to just dish out so much damage, even Artemis. So this composition from Lao Gan Ma, they will get very strong once they scale up. But that is only once they do so.
Yeah, that is definitely only if that happens. In fact, they have to not lose any priority in the early game. If they do, it is going to be so difficult for them to withstand the combined poke of Xerath and Ezreal. Even in the bot lane alone, Royal Reapers do not necessarily need Retro. I mentioned that it is going to be all on the back of Retro as well as the bot lane, and I do stand by that. If you're going to see Yoshi positioning well around the minion wave and hitting a Mystic Shot after Mystic Shot, it's going to be so difficult for Lao Gan Ma to really do anything. And look what the bot lane is doing. They sort of faked a leash for Retro to try to disguise the fact that he is starting on the blue buff. They sort of messed up a bit by not taking any hit from the jungle creeps, because now they can see that, well, they didn't suffer any damage, but it's still nice that they're trying to employ these, how do you call it, guerrilla warfare tactics.
Yeah, I approve that name. And currently, in the early laning phase, not too much is happening. Neither of these lanes is really getting insanely ahead. Artemis gets the early push, which I think is pretty expected considering it's a range into melee matchup. And I am just going to pay a lot of attention to the pathing of the junglers and where do they decide to gank. Ventum is currently trying for that Skylar. Sojin takes so much damage on that bot side trade.
Yeah, Sojin, they're just getting pushed in. It makes sense because the bot lane of Royal Reapers did manage to hit that level 2 first. I am currently looking at the stream, and there is a bit of an interesting phenomenon, which is that you guys cannot see something. So it's a radio broadcast now. Ventum in the bot lane.
Yeah, Ventum is trying to go for the pillar. Clean by Cody is nearly under his tower. The heal is utilized. There is the stun on the Yoshi with School, and the first one actually goes for Ventum. However, Yoshi School manages to get one back and goes under his tower. Teleport is coming through. Spam FF gets the knockback into the wall on that top side. It drops Sojin, and the third kill will go down in that bottom lane. Spam FF gets 2 of them, and Yoshi School will get 1.
And a really great gank from Ventum there. He managed to loop all the way around that Tribush in the bot side. However, a perfect teleport from Spam FF from that top lane. Look what Artemis is doing. Yeah, that turret has a lot of resistances right now. They're not going to be able to find too many of these plates. As Spam FF just runs back into that lane with a double kill and a kill on an Ezreal.
Yeah, that is so much gold just going through early game. That play was beautiful. The gank from Ventum, I like the idea. However, it backfired as SpamFF was just allowed to TP down, pick up those kills, and good that you mentioned Yoshi now has got that tier. He will be one happy Ezreal, just not really running out of mana anytime soon.
Yeah, definitely not. He doesn't run the teleport either, something that we see often be picked by Ezreal players nowadays. It is good because it gives you so much of that lane pressure, because even if you run out of mana, you just teleport back and it's like nothing has ever happened. You can pick Sheen instead, but he has got that tier now.
Ventum is coming up towards the top side. SpamFF is about 20 teamos away from his target, but he will be able to get out. The pillar does come out, but it is not enough to stop him. No summoners are committed from either side.
Yeah, no summoners spammed FF just yet. I'm sorry. Of course, Ventum trying to put down some pressure all over the map, but it is a bit impossible at this stage of the game as Trundle. You do not have any reliable CC, and it even backfired in that bot lane when the lineup of Royal Reapers were just able to respond so quickly. I hope you guys are enjoying the picture show, by the way. You know, it's
the radio broadcast. Oh, you're behind on that stream. I just noticed. However,
I think we're live though, finally.
okay, Rosa takes a lot of damage. Yoshi just solos him in the middle of the lane.
And that is just unfortunate, honestly, at this point. If you just get locked down and you have this Ezreal against you, that is way too many emotes being spammed. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry, mechanics. That's just that's not okay. But once again, another kill heading into the pockets of Ezreal, and that is even before he managed to hit Sheen. Now he's going to be able to pick that up, and he's just going to be dealing so much damage.
Yeah, the stream isn't synced up. I just realized. So
Yeah.
we'll have to work out some sort of solution in the meantime. We will be informed as soon as that happens. And yeah, coming back into that game, yeah, Yoshi has got that Sheen. Currently at 6 minutes, that is where we are at. And he will be a very scary Ezreal. Even more damage for him in that lane. And we just saw him nearly. I mean, no, he did kill Roasted. It's just gonna be so much easier now.
It is definitely going to be very easy for him. He is currently winning on the CS over this Sivir as well. I'm really looking forward to see the itemization. I do believe that he can go just for that Triforce immediately, because he's going to be snowballing. There's no doubt about that. And, well, an Ezreal with a Triforce is a good Ezreal, as everyone likes to say in the brand, in the job, in the career. Something
In the League of
lingo.
Legends
In League of
community.
Legends. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Everywhere else, things are getting sort of even. SpamFF has lost some creeps from that early excursion into the bot lane, as well as the fact that Artemis is just able to push a wave after wave under his own turret. But otherwise, things are looking relatively good for Lao Gan Ma. The gold lead right now isn't too huge. Sure, it is currently 1000, which isn't ideal, but remember, they're still playing for the late game, and so as long as they're not giving any objectives super early on, as we saw in the last game, they're going to be relatively happy.
Yeah, they will. Just information, the stream is behind by about 2 minutes. I am not entirely sure what's going on. However, I think I have focused slightly too much on that. If anything, we'll be able, then we'll have a fix. This Murphy has to burn his flash in the middle lane as he overextends on a trade against Omena, and Retro was in the vicinity to support his mid laner.
And well, Retro is starting to put down some pressure on that Sejuani. Now Omena though,
Omena has to
flash. Yeah,
He is under his own tower. This Murphy actually doing a very good
Ventum
job.
is there.
Yeah, Venom is there. He has got the pillar. The right of the arcane means Omena cannot see it, and the jump is coming through the 200 IQ outplay button from Venom. Gets him the kill.
And he didn't even have to flash because he didn't have his flash out. That was just really wonderful. He came for a snack and he just ate it in one go. Ventum may be actually trying to go for more, as Retro is in that jungle and he is spotted by a ward.
There seems to be breaking also a fight in that bot lane. However, Roasted will just be able to sit under his own turret. Actually takes a lot of damage. The Ignite is down. He tries to heal. He's currently sitting out of his turret, out of range of any abilities, and looks like he will not burn down in the end.
And so much damage being put down by the bot lane of Royal Reapers. They expend almost all of their summoners for sure. However, their ultimates are still up. No teleport coming down from Lao Gan Ma.
Artemis does, I believe that was cancelled actually, or maybe interrupted, I should say, by SpamFF. So Artemis doesn't get it in the end, and Retro manages to get a beautiful snipe under the turret. Sojin drops down in the bot lane under his own turret. Roasted is now maybe getting dove. The pillar is coming down from Ventum. However, yes, from the Trundle, it is. And now the fight might just break out. Retro jumping forward. However, this Mervin has joined the fight on that Cassin, and can he pick up some kills? Retro will barely burn down with that red buff. It is over. Gets the kill in the end. However, Rosa has to flash out. Yoshi is looking hard to follow up. Will get the killing spree kill, and now it is over. He's looking for the pillar to slow down Yoshi. Under the turret is Omena. This Mervin looking for whatever he can. There are 3 very low health targets. He'll get Omena with the 4 spots, but will not go ahead to pick up any more kills.
And Yoshi survived by the skin of his teeth there, just by eating that biscuit, because it actually gives you instant HP. He survived with 5, ladies and gentlemen. That was a very, very clutch snack at the very last second. Of course, not giving any kills away, he has opted to go for that Iceborne Gauntlet, prioritizing that early spike instead of something like that Triforce, meaning that he will be able to just kite around. He will have a lot of mana, and Mechanics is going to start feeling a bit worse off in this bot lane.
As Artemis in the top lane is getting ganked, he's about halfway through the lane, trying to run under his tower, gets a nice heal with the Hero Plague as well as the Transfusion. The Hammer Shock does not connect from Spam Heaven, and Artemis will be able to go down under his own turret and survive the gank.
So Artemis is going to be able to just survive for now. That one little gank, Retro, of course, did not have access to that Glacial Prison, so not much you can do, especially against Vladimir, who does have the Tide of Blood. Or not Tide of Blood, the Blood Pool, yes. And he's just able to run away. Dragon also taken by the side of Lao Gan Ma. So they're getting something out of this game right now. The goal lead is actually very even, because the map pressure is so even across the map. I have still Zillion in the top of the ladderboard for some reason, and I thought that he was playing top lane and that he was on 14 CS, but luckily he isn't. Artemis now though.
Artemis is getting ganked once again. He's sitting under an enemy tower. The permafrost stun that's gonna. He's still holding on to his pool. Will use it now. Flash is available. He's about halfway through the lane. Ooh. The ice ball misses from Retro, but the slow is still in. Oh, the charge to the wall does not get the stun. Artemis on 30 HP goes out of the turret, but the keeper's verdict puts him down, and Spamhev gets his third kill of the game.
That is a bit unfortunate, really. Artemis, have you played it well? Nice little dodge away from that Glacial Prison with a flash. Of course, he can't dodge the Keeper's Verdict. That is just something that is impossible, especially when you're standing right next to Poppy. And so, a kill heading now into the pocket of Spam FF. He does have 3 kills on a Poppy, so that's going to just mean that he's going to be able to hit that magic resist a bit earlier. It's just going to make the lane a bit more sustainable for him.
It will. However, correct me if I'm wrong, Lao Gan Ma, they have got the better scaling composition. Is that right?
Yes,
more or less? Yes. Do. And you have already the Rod of Ages started on the Smurfing, and they aren't really that far behind. The gold difference is about 500 gold at this moment. And I'm not yet worried for Royal Reapers. They've got great mid game. They've got so much poke. However, they need to start making some plays and play around maybe the Herald and some towers.
Yeah, well, the problem is that all of these turret platings are going to start to be picked up by Royal Reapers. Yoshi Art and together with Queen by Cody are just picking them up one by one. Of course, in the bot lane, Retro just pays a visit. Not much else happened. Yeah.
Yes, PAMFF did commit his teleport, which means that cooldown is now unavailable, and the side of Lao Gan Ma, they are mounting a defense. The Smurfing and Ventom are all down. It's a 4-4 versus 4. However, this one gets knocked into the wall. Good chrono shift coming from Sojin to save his top laner. And no one will fall down in the end. Royal Reapers, though, they are looking to commit 5 members into that bot side push.
And they are just putting everyone in there. They're putting all of their eggs in one basket, ladies and gentlemen. Artemis is starting to push in that top side, and it may actually result in a favorable situation for Lao Gan Ma. Of course, the Zerath ultimate coming down, just zoning Rostet away from that turret. However, Artemis is able to snag up a lot of gold for this.
Stun onto SpamFF, he goes in, he gets shut down by Ventom, the tower still stands firm. Artemis in the top lane will get the first tower. Good macro play coming through from Lao Gan Ma, getting the first tower, and now they are the ones in the lead.
And I feel like that has been simply a misplay from the side of Royal Reapers. They just gave away so much gold into Artemis's hands. They're going to be sitting on a 4 DCS lead over this Poppy. They do have that Proto Belt, and that is just going to be one scary vampire man.
Definitely will be a Sojin. He gets called out by Clean by Cody in that bot. He tries to face Sugar Brush. Well, doesn't really work that well against Zyra, and he drops down as a result.
Mechanics is still in that lane now. Clean by Cody does not have any mana to try to poke him down. Yoshi, he can try to do something, but no. The bot lane of Royal Reapers, they'll just sit back. They'll fall back a bit. You know, they're just saying, hey, we're fine with that. We're fine with all this lead that we have managed to gain. But the gold lead is actually sitting in Lao Gan Ma's favor, simply because of that top lane. Again, that macro play did not make too much sense, just because right now, Royal Reapers do not have the superior siege compared to Lao Gan Ma. They do not have the damage to blow them up, so they could not threaten them under their own turret. And as such, it just resulted in a lot of early gold heading into this Victor's pocket. Not Victor's, Vladimir. What am I saying?
Yeah, and early gold into Vladimir, not something you really want to see. However, Yoshi has now got his mana immune. He is already 500 mana out of 750, so he's well on his way to stack it. Once he hits that 2-item power spike, this is where Ezreal shines. This is where I want to see Royal Reapers group up and make some plays. Maybe take some towers, play around some objectives, as the Cloud Drake will spawn in just 15 seconds.
And Cloud Drake, of course, not the most important objective in the game, not the best dragon. It's still nice to have in your pockets, though. Just taking it away from Royal Reapers right now. Some gold that comes with it. Right now, Aurora did you take the bot lane turret finally?
Omena is forced to flash in the middle lane as there was some collapse coming through from Ventum and Sojin. However, he gets out alive with his life. Yeah, he gets out alive. That's simple. And the gold lead is slightly getting closer. So Royal Reapers, that tower did help them a lot to close it slightly. However, you now have the Essence River as Ventum takes a chunk of damage in the river, will be forced to back out.
Yeah, he isn't going to die just yet. Mechanics in that mid lane getting zoned out by that ultimate from Xerath. Now, the turret may actually very well go down. Royal Reapers, they're trying to siege it, but they do not have any minions there. So the siege is going to get prolonged for a bit, and Artemis is just once again pushing this top lane. Right now, Lao Gan Ma just realizing what they have to do across the map.
Alright, we have a lag. Croatian internet. Great. Ventum is having some lag.
It could have, you know,
could have been. I think it probably is an internet, considering that the pause is coming through, but that does give us some time.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
It's just no, it's an intern. It's an intern. But yes, it's going to give them some time. Royal Reapers are going to be able to think about what they want to do. They still have to find these pigs. They do have that Ezreal, and as you rightly pointed out, he is going to be hitting that Mirror Mana power spike soon. He does have that Iceborne Gauntlet. He does have a lot of damage right now. He can 1v1 mechanics at any time of day. However, you do have Nintendo on the lineup of Lao Gan Ma, and he has finished that Rod of Ages. His second item is, of course, the Tears, so he isn't going to have too much burst, at least right now. But he's still going to be a pretty difficult beast to deal with now that he has that Rod of Ages stacking and giving him so many of these stats.
You're right, in just 4 minutes it will be stacked up. And what I want to say is we have some time to revisit the game state, but that's exactly what you did for me right here. And my question is, what are the people that we're looking at? Because I feel like we didn't really focus a lot about it. We just kind of swiftly went through the early game without really putting too much focus on any individual person. Well, now it's the time. Who are we putting in the spotlight? Who are the people that we will be looking at?
Yoshi.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that's it. Yoshi is going to be the most important carry right now for Royal Reapers. Xerath on Omena hasn't been able to find any picks, so he doesn't have too much damage. He doesn't even have Luden's Echo finished just yet. Hopefully that is subject to change now at 17 minutes. He is still laning against Nintendo, so, you know, that's okay, at least for now. But on Lao Gan Ma, we can expect Ventum to be finding more of these picks now that every single lane has been sort of stabilized, as well as Artemis, because let's be honest, it's a really scary Vladimir that you're going to be facing.
It will be us. However, Ventum gets caught out in the middle lane. Triangle throws are coming down, force him to flash away. Subjugate was committed as well. And the Triangle will just skip away to safety, but that is his flash summoner blown. The Herald is on the map, but I really like the side lane pressure to 1-3-1 that currently Lao Gan Ma are setting up and playing.
And that is something that you just set yourself up for if you're drafting both Vladimir and a Kassadin. Kassadin right now, he just wants to farm. He doesn't necessarily want to be involved in these fights, even though those early kills would benefit him a lot. He just wants to farm up. He just wants to get a couple more CS under his belt. Just get those few items in and then start bopping people. The same goes with Vladimir. He does have that one needlessly large rod. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to afford one right now, but as soon as he manages to hit that item, it's going to be even scarier to be playing against Lao Gan Ma.
They have just so much team fight damage. That is something we mentioned last time. Artemis goes in 1v2. The rest of his team is here to follow the hero play, dishing out the damage. Artemis gets Cody and gets the shutdown. Nice 2 kills going over to Vladimir, and that one Vampire Man, he's just so much more scarier.
It was such a nice play from Lao Gan Ma. They worked as a team. Artemis So much damage coming from him, and there is really nothing that Yoshi and Queen by Cody could have done there. They just got outflanked because they don't have any vision. In the topside river, it's completely dominated by the lineup of Lao Gan Ma. No single blue ward there, and as such, a few early kills. Not early, just few kills. Heading into the pockets of, once again, I believe, Artemis, and it is over, as also known as Vent.
Right, the Herald has now been picked up. Omena tries to deal some damage with the right of the Arcane, unable to find any critical shots. And with this objective, right now, Lao Gan Ma will have a lot of map pressure, as the Baron is on the dawn of spawning.
Yeah, and well, the Rift Herald being picked up like right at the end of its duration is really good for them, because now they're going to be able to pressure both a side lane and the Baron call. If you have so many split pushers, what you can do is that you put one of them into the side lane, then group up with the rest of your team in the mid lane, keep the other one in the top lane, go for a 1-3-1 comp, and drop Rift Herald in the bot lane. So then you pressure both bot as well as set up an objective around that Baron. So that is something that LG can
Artemis is going in 1 versus 2 again. Yoshi is dead. There's nothing he can do. Artemis is on a killing spree.
And while you can set up a split push, you can also just murder people. Yeah, that's fine. No, you can do that, Mr. Vladimir. It's okay. In the bot lane, of course. In the meantime, Phantom is just soloing a dragon. That's really nice from Lao Gan Ma. Once again, just all around great rotation plays coming from them. And it seems like right now, Royal Reapers don't have anything to do. They are just unable to find a response to so many cross-map walks that they are just taking.
And you know, Lao Gan Ma, they had that one play in the early game where it did go south for them. And you know what is impressive? They didn't care. They are back and very much in control of this game. As Artemis is going to get shut down in the top side. Nice skill shots coming in from Omena. And that is one hell of a caster curse.
That is a caster curse, but, you know, I feel like that's rightly deserved at this point. If you die to that when you do have that blood pool available and you go for that Q instead, it's, I feel like you deserve it a bit. Of course, it was possible that you were going to die instead, because it does require some help, but well, Artemis dies and gives off a lot of gold now into the hands of Omena, who's going to be able to pick up that looted Zeko, and of course, something else to pick up. Moral Nomicon straight up, okay.
Into the Vladimir, into the Trundle, as well as that Chrono. Does it reduce the heal on the Chrono Shift? I'm not sure, but there is more than enough heals that you really want to be cutting down. That pickup will be big in those teamfights, especially as the Baron is live now. It just means that Lao Gan Ma will find it so much more difficult to sustain through these fights.
Yeah, it is going to be a bit more difficult for them. Now, of course, it is predominantly focused at Artemis, who has just been popping off his Moral Nomicon and does so much to limit that healing potential. Of course, Omena had picked up that Oblivion Orb a few minutes before that, just to, you know, try to fight Artemis. Now, he is finding a lot of this important poke, and right now he may be one of the most vital members for Royal Reapers, because Yoshi, he's just been sort of dying to, well, Artemis. He still has a lot of damage, but he's been unable to find a lot of that poke that I promised in the early game.
I'll have a look at the middle lane. Royal Reapers, they are finding the pressure there, and they will take the tower. However, you always have to watch the silence. That is the bowling turret gone. Tier 2 in the mid lane is now the target. Venom eating a lot of damage, has to pop down the subjugate, and the turret is nearly down right now. A few more hits will do it. The tower in the top lane, folks, the base is broken. However, Royal Reapers get the tower in that middle lane. This Mervin is coming in that cast, and he nearly deletes Cody, who has to go golden. That is the double stun coming through. Sojin picks up the kill. Chrono Shift is committed as Sojin has to resurrect himself. Can he make it out? That is the stunning duel. He uses the stopwatch himself. This Mervin in the back line now going through. Artemis is just ending the game right now. Look at the base. He's taking those turrets slowly but surely. If Royal Reapers don't survive, then it might be just over. I say double kill for this Mervin. He's tapped into that wall by spam effect. The kill will be traded back, but a great double bomb from Sojin. Roasted gets the kill. That is a full ace, and Lao Gan Ma might have just won the game.
And there are just so many long death timers for Royal Reapers. That fight was probably the worst one that they could have had picked. It went on for so long. Artemis just able to push this lane so much, it is going to leave the Nexus completely exposed.
The Hemo play coming through. Cody cannot do anything. That is an ace. Yoshi has respawned. I don't think Artemis can end the game just yet, but that's a close call. Yoshi gets the kill in the end. Lao Gan Ma, they just hit a jackpot in that team.
Oh yeah, I feel like there is nothing else that you can call it. That was pretty much the jackpot. One bad decision from the Royal Reapers to keep on going in that fight. They also managed to somehow lose it, and that is just an unfortunate turn of events for Royal Reapers. Royal Reapers. Why is that so difficult to say? As now, Lao Gan Ma, they're just going to be able to do anything that they want. They're going to have the complete priority over this Baron. There are no turrets for Royal Reapers to try to defend them from suffering from that vision attack, and Artemis is just going to be so strong from all of that gold being picked up, as they're now going to be sitting on 3 items.
3 items, Vladimir. Death Cup, Voice Staff, and Protobelt. Good luck dealing with that, sincerely, Artemis. That is the message that I would say would appear. Yeah, it is. However, the Baron is now the focus. Royal Reapers, they will be moving in as a team. They might have lost nearly their base. They still have that one exit start, and their top lane inhibitor is down. However, they are moving as a unit, trying to reclaim the vision, and they might be looking for a pick onto Phantom. He does get slowed down ever so slightly. The subjugate is popped. That is on the hand. However, Artemis on that side. That is a big Hemo plague. Omena goes golden. Can he survive the onslaught is the question. He does for now. Artemis chance low. However, Roasted is on the killing spree. Cody is the one to follow. Artemis has that chrono shift. He cannot be scared. Omena doing whatever he can to survive, but a double kill is found for the Kassadin. Yoshi running for his dear life. But can you run away from the Kassadin? Nosfer coming to the Netherblade finishes the job. A killing spree. Retro, the only person alive, and this time Lao Gan Ma might have it for sure.
And you cannot run away from your fears. Kassadin just manages to chase Yoshi down. Roasted taking that single turret hit. Of course, the rest of the gang just shows up now, taking that next turret. TP also comes through from Artemis. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't believe that there is anything that Royal Reapers can do right now.
Royal Reapers are trying to find the shutdown on this Marine, but the Nexus exploded, dropping them so low, and Lao Gan Ma will take the win over the Royal Reapers.
Ooh, and a very, very... how do you even sum this game up? Come on.
It's too soon for it. I was ready for this game to go for like 30 or so minutes, and then that one play from Lao Gan Ma just pretty much finishes it.
Yeah, and we were saying that the entire composition of Lao Gan Ma was focused about something. Scaling. And they just managed to clean this game up before 30 minutes, off on the back of a single fight, really. And that is just the unfortunate, how do you say it, consequence of a bad just communication, either a bad play. Maybe they didn't look at the top lane because they were too invested in that fight. They in the end managed to lose, but in the end, Lao Gan Ma, they win this game not only off on the back of a bad fight from Royal Reapers, but also because Artemis was just able to farm in that top lane. You want to shut Vladimir down a bit, and you don't want to give him any kills. And if you just leave that top lane as that Poppy, who is supposed to be this barrier between your team and this fat mage, you know, you're sort of opening the floodgates for blood, of course. And, well, that was exactly what SpamFF did. And in the end, it actually cost them the game.
Beautiful, beautiful win, I have to say, from the side of Lao Gan Ma. How do I keep forgetting the names? It's just two.
Okay.
Come on.
It's an Asian name. Sort
is
of,
it?
not really.
Nah, not really. We're an EU week. So yes. It's okay. You can just say it's a joke. Disclaimer, trigger warning, everything. Yes.
Definitely.
Definitely. However, what that does mean is that the standings just get even more clumped up. Yes, we're only week 4. We're not really meant to talk about that. However, with
playoffs,
no, it's still like at least 2 months, if not 3. Something like that. It's a long time. It's a long time. Okay. However, what that does mean is that nearly every single match between those top teams will count. Like these two that we have seen today, they will have some big implications, and well, we'll hopefully see some more quality League of Legends.
Yeah, we're bound to just find even more and more amazing games in this SQ1 championship. Of course, the implications for this match for Royal Reapers were that if they managed to win, they could have had competed for the first spot in the standings. Right now, it seems that it is going to be Glorious Gaming picking that up, of course, depending if they manage to get that game under their belt. Lao Gan Ma, however, still they were one of the biggest favorites coming into this championship, and right now they sort of fell out of favor, but they still show us that they have their moments. They're still a really good team, and that they can find these important wins when they really matter.
Right, and just a great win. Great macro play,
Yeah.
I have to say, because it wasn't even the fact that Lao Gan Ma were like hugely ahead or out micro the side of Royal Reapers. It was purely the map play coming through to win the day in the end. And is there anything else that you want to talk about before we wrap this stream up?
What else to talk about? Well, I feel like once again, these stomps. It wasn't precisely a stomp. I agree with you that Lao Gan Ma they had a nice macro control. However, something that Royal Reapers are going to have to focus on is really just macro control of their own. We saw a lot of missteps, a lot of misplays, a lot of questionable teleports, just focusing on the immediate gains over long time benefits. So, that is something that they can maybe work on to try to get themselves up into those top spots of the league. And well, that's it from me. Kachka, do you want to do
Yes,
the honors?
well, I thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Next week we will be back on Tuesday, the same time, 19 CET CST. I think the time is swapping soon. It will be just 19 if you live anywhere in the Europe, apart from some places. You know what I mean? Berlin time. So don't forget to tune in then. And I was Kachka, and my beautiful co-caster was Kerem, and that is a good night from us.
Good night, everyone.